To be clear, almost everything exists in the gray area. Aside from the colors themselves, nothing's ever really black or white. Hell, black people ain't even black, and most white people are some shade of peach. But I digress. In nearly every occurrence, there's this side, that side, witness accounts, and then what really happened. Why? Because truth is relative, based on exposure and experiences. It goes greater exposure and richer experiences lead to deeper perspectives and understanding. What I'm offering is information and entertainment, an opportunity for greater exposure and hopefully deeper perspective and greater understanding. To be clear, hashtag the gray area. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Nicole Lynn Gray. To be clear, hashtag the gray area. And it is the week of the Democratic National Debate here in Houston. And guess what? Your girl just found out I'm going to be covering it. So this week is Politics Week. And it's Monday. So let's get straight to the business. To be clear, our current state of government is a failure. And while it's true that partisanship is essential to our democracy, our current state of hyper-partisanship threatens to overwhelm the system and bring our democracy to its knees. Now, some of you may recall from an earlier podcast that I said that I'm apolitical and apartisan. Well, the state of hyperpartisanship currently is the reason I'm the latter. Now, I don't want anyone to be confused. I am apartisan and apolitical, but I am not apathetic, nor am I a fool. I am deeply concerned as others about the nation's most pressing issues, our economy, gun control, immigration, all of the things that are important to our thriving nation. It's just that I would like to see those issues addressed. And well, with our current system, even the things that we agree upon seem to stall out. Now, I recognize fully that we can't have democracy without partisanship. And in fact, when partisanship works well, it encourages competition and it also keeps politicians on their toes. Partisan politics provides meaningful choices for voters in that parties are incentivized to respond to voters' needs because if not, they'll lose. And the losing party is there to keep the winning party on their toes because they're chomping at the bit to be the next in line. And as political sociologist Seymour Martin Lipset put it in 1959, a stable democracy requires the manifestation of conflict or cleavage so that there will be struggle over ruling positions, challenges to parties in power, and shifts of parties in office. So essentially, partisan conflict is necessary for our democracy. Otherwise, we'd have totalitarianism. And stripped of the BS, the function of partisan politics being to mobilize and engage citizens and bring them together around common issues, that is a good function. that also has a downside. Because as we see, the thing that normally unites one group divides them from the other. The spirit of competition, which normally accompanies party politics, also carries with it a sense of loyalty, a loyalty for your team. The sense of loyalty is not an issue. It's what psychologists recognize as the yang to the in-group loyalty, which is outsider hostility. And with our current state of hyper-partisanship, that's what we have. We have loyalty for those within our parties and hostility for those who are not. And currently, our rivalries have become so personal that we aren't fighting over our budget and where our money should be spent, where our priorities lie. We're fighting over simply who is most American. Republicans feel that Democrats are un-American. They challenge the nation's Christian values, and they want our country run over by immigrants. Democrats, on the other hand, label Donald Trump as un-American with his racist and xenophobic rhetoric. They claim it runs afoul of the American spirit of tolerance and acceptance, and they throw all of his supporters in with him. In today's political climate, rivals aren't just opponents on issues. Things get really dirty. Rivals are stupid, selfish, racist, even vile. The true issues of the day are often lost in the mud that's slung from one party to the next. So there is no surprise when we have issues that come up that many of us agree on, like sensible gun control, that those issues are often lost in the mudslinging. Most times this is the case because as citizens, we operate on completely different sets of facts built on faulty premises that are driven by the nature of the competition, the goal of winning elections. Politicians routinely use phrases like the fate of our nation lies in the balance, or extreme times call for extreme measures, and they frame our issues as not ones that are economic or ones that are about priorities and spending, but rather good versus evil. And when framed as good versus evil, notions of fair play are normally out of the window. That's when you're more apt to see people using the end to justify the means. So this election cycle, I challenge each of you to step out of your hyper-partisan world, reach out to fellow citizens, connect with them on issues that matter to you in your community, your neighborhood, your city, state. Connect with them on those issues that matter to you, and then challenge our politicians to not go for the easy win of pitting us against each other on the basis of good versus evil, but pitting us against each other on priorities of where we plan to spend our money in order to support our nation's growth.